Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Gami Crayola, and you are watching the six-digit World Cup mainstream. This is a matchup, a very stacked matchup between Australia versus Argentina, and I am so excited for this match. Joining me in the VC will be our first TriCast in 6WC. On the analyst side, we got Maiji, and on the play-by-play side, we got Bez. Maiji, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. You know, it might be like around 10, 11 a.m. for you, but it is 10 p.m. for me. So going to more towards like the nighttime in the North American side of the world, and I agree. I think we're gonna have a really good match today. I think I mean, I don't think. This is the two closest seeding teams, being seed 16 and seed 17. So we should have a really interesting one for you guys today.
Yeah, Bez, what about you, man?
To complete the full time zone circle for me, it's 4 a.m. And yeah, I'm glad I stayed up for this match because this is going to be definitely quite a banger as the two teams are quite close. And from qualifier results alone, it just brings up the excitement for this match. It's just going to be really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to both of you for your introductions. And you know, while the players are playing the Australian crossing sound warm-up map, mind you, what are we looking like? What are we looking at in this matchup? I think there are two very standout players from either side. I mean, Argentina has their returning player in Forward, and meanwhile, Australia has their new, huge spawn in Ichinami. So I think throughout this matchup, a lot of what we're gonna see is sort of a binary tension between both these carries going into this matchup.
Yeah, I completely agree. Ichinami being a random spawn that kind of spawned in. They did play some older tournaments back in the day, but they didn't place too well. And with them coming back, they've been an absolute cancer to the rank range. They did get number 3 in performance scores during qualifiers, and as well as Falbet, they got top 5 in performance scores. So both were really strong players. Australia, honestly, overall, they're like really strong on everything. But with Ichinami being a little bit worse on the hard rock, they do have a bit of a hard rock weakness. And looking at Argentina, they do have a really good hard rock, so they will be able to capitalize on hard rock during this match.
Yeah, hopefully we should be able to see what these teams or the game plan to some of these teams as we move into our ban phase. But as it stands right now, I mean, we're just in the waiting screen. And yeah, I think even though you mentioned, right, Argentina's hard rock is stronger or on paper seems stronger than Team Australia. I mean, Team Australia also has some of their guns. You know, you have Clotho, who's very, very strong on the hidden. And overall, I think your comment about Australia just overall being a very well-rounded team really plays a huge factor into a matchup like this. Although I will like to mention the fact that it is round of 32, so at the end of the day, I think skill sets begin to muddle at this SR, where everybody is very consistent. All these maps are accessible to our players. I think there are very few maps in this pool that could be truly considered as a quote unquote skill cap check. If I had to guess, however, I think Hard Rock 1 is the most it is the most polarizing map. And if I were to predict a ban coming from Team Australia or a protect from Team Argentina, I would definitely be looking at that Hard Rock 1 tactic. But yeah, I really, going into this matchup, there's a lot that we don't know, right? There are a bunch of players from Team Argentina, a lot of the supporting cast of Team Argentina that we simply don't know about. And on the flip side, Team Australia, it is sort of that same reality, right? There's a lot that we don't know. And when you have a matchup this close, seed 16 versus seed 17, the closest match on paper for the round of 32. It will definitely be an interesting match, seeing how both of these teams not just go into this matchup, but how these teams are planning to scout out their opponents and how they're planning to plan out their picks.
Yeah, for sure. And I think something that they can't scout based off of is going to be qualifiers because, like you said, with this being low SR, there's not too much difficulty in this pool. Many of the players and lower ranking newer players will be able to take advantage of that lower SR. Like one of the players, Kabas Kabi, one of the NWC and also played beginner friendly tournament, which were 250k tourneys. So they are used to that low SR. But I think something that will be a good factor during this match will be possibly the tournament experience. Argentina, we have a few returning players from 6WC4 from last year's roster. We have Unknown, who is the captain. We also have Falwet, the star player on the side of Argentina. We also have Joski, who is another returning player from last year.
Yeah, I definitely think the experience, right, is pretty solid from Argentina, but if we talk about experience, I mean, mind you, we have to also talk about Team Australia. They see the return of your boy Grubs in this roster, a player that was in every single Australian World Cup, Australian six-digit World Cup roster, apart from the 2024 roster. And you also have players like, Kobe's Kobe. I believe they've been in some places, Mo Shuang as well. But of course, their captain in Quarto is definitely the main standout when it comes to that experience. But I mean, as you mentioned, right, at the same time, if you look at carry experience, forward definitely triumphs over Ichinami. I don't know if this SR is enough to really bring out that experience gap between both of these players. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see, right? But as the players finally walk out of their warm-ups, we should be getting straight into the protect and ban phase.
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. With Australia, they do have a good amount of some of these tourney players. I believe like 4 to 5 of them did actually play 6-digit Asia Pacific Cup for
Yep.
the Australian roster. People like Clordal, Kabis Kabi, as well as Mushong, Sorax, and Grubs, and Sorax as well being another 6WC player. And yeah, like you said, Grubs, they played so many 6WCs. I'm pretty sure they played like every one of them. So both of these teams pretty balanced when it comes to tournament experience. And it's just gonna come down to whoever is a bit more consistent on that low SR, and as well as how strong these carries for each of these teams do, like Falwa and Ichinami.
Yeah, but we're getting into our protect and ban phase, and I think this is a good time to sort of look at what these teams are angling towards going into this matchup. Immediately, Argentina seems to go for that no mod 2 protect, if I'm not mistaken. Very interesting protect, if I do say so myself. I think this no mod 2 is a lot more different from standard low SR no mod 2s in the sense that it's honestly very inaccessible when it comes to a mechanic standpoint, because 200 BPM 9 note to 11 note bursts are very, very difficult to hit, especially if it's very difficult to hit, especially when you put it in the context of a 4.9 pool that usually has 170 BPM. I would give an example of a no mod 2 here, but I cannot put my finger down on anything. But on the flip side, we see Australia going for that hidden 1 protect. You love to see it. We love Assault Taxi. And Argentina are gonna throw out their first ban in hidden 2. And yeah, we're seeing it, right, Maiji? The gimmicks or the hiddens are just something that Australia seems to be more comfortable on. And Argentina is clear to see that they want to dance around. And Australia goes for the Hard Rock 1 ban that we predicted before. So yeah, pretty understandable decisions made by both teams. I don't think there's anything really out of the ordinary for me here.
Yeah, I completely understand that Argentina protect from the Nomad 2, even though it is a bit more higher BPM. There are a lot of strong tapping players on this roster with a lot of stream top plays, and they did get Nomad number 4 on Nomad 2 in the qualifiers, I believe being their highest score in the quals. And with the hidden 2 ban coming from Argentina, we do see that they do suffer a bit more on the hidden maps and some of the free mods with some of the hidden and reading weaknesses, but they do excel on that no mod HR in some of these DT maps. And Australia, also, they have a good hidden, just they don't have as good of a hard rock. And so these players just in teams, just good opposite skill sets that, so we might see a good few traded picks during this match. And first pick of this match is actually going to be Australia as we wait and see what they pick. But if I were Australia, oh, and they go free mod 1, I was gonna say Australia could go for one of the possibly DT2 since they did do better on that in quals, but they do go with that free mod 1. So I believe we'll be seeing 100% Ichinami in on this free mod 1. We will be seeing Falwet on the side of Argentina, some of these perma lobby players on these rosters.
Yeah, that's
Also,
right. Oh, so sorry, Maiji.
I was gonna say Fremont 1 being like the longest map in the pool, being 4 minutes long, so that nerve control is definitely gonna come in handy here, and just this map's gonna be come down to whoever is the most consistent, and as well accuracy could play a good factor in this as well.
Yeah, I believe this is one of those maps that is a war of attrition. I mean, we don't really have a generic normal one, hidden one, or hard rock one. So this map sort of acts as your balanced bread and butter white bread normal one pick. Albeit of course with the added difficulties of the mods. I think this is a very interesting test at consistency. All of your outlets are being tested here. Your hidden, your hard rocks, and even more prominently your no mods, right? I think your no mod anchor is gonna have a lot more pressure put on them, especially on a map this long. We are gonna see the players slowly funnel into the lobby, and hopefully we should be able to be off to the races very soon. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to elaborate on a map like this. Just your 185 BPM aim no mod 1 farm map, which clocks in at around 4 minutes long, with a few bursts, but mostly gonna be those consistency jumps here, and the AR9 CS 3.8. Nothing too special for the players that we have today.
Yeah, and with most of the players joining the lobby, for Argentina, we do see the captain, Unknown, Gandil, Dante Scar, and Falwet. I believe Dante Scar should be on that hard rock, Falwet probably on the hidden. And for the side of Australia, we have Ichinami, Wildred Panda, Sorax Bay, and Kabis Kabi hopping out of the lobby. But for mods, I believe Ichinami should be on that hidden. Wildred Panda could be either on the Nomad or that hard rock. Sorax could go either Nomad or hidden, and as well as Mushong can also have Nomad or hard rock. All these players having really good capabilities on those mods. And for Argentina, I believe Dante should be the hard rock player, as they are more of a hard rock mechanics player, as well with really good tapping. So we are going to be getting into the first map of this match. So all you Bez.
Yep, this is definitely going to be quite interesting, as you quite nicely enough introduced both teams to absolute perfection. We pretty much know which players to look out for and which players they are likely to perform better than both of them. Obviously, Australia with Ichinami and Argentina with Falwet. Both of them are actually on mods, but Falwet is on that hidden hard rock, so it's a bit of an overmod from their side, but it might pay off dividends as they managed to get an FC with really good accuracy. There's total team score is gonna go so much better in their favor rather than if they went as a simple hidden as Ichinami went. So far so good though. Everyone's still FCing, the intro is pretty simple enough. When I say that, Falwet finds a break.
Okay, it is still even. Ichinami as well finding that miss. So does Dante Star. Instantly, half of the combos on either side have already fallen. And a Wild Red Panda, Mo Shuang versus Unknown and Gandalf is going to be the matchup that we're here to see going into this KI. As of right now, Falwet not looking too good. We're not looking too good on the combo side, but the accuracy is definitely keeping them in the game. And right now, Argentina is leading by about 10k points right now. We are sort of coming into the tail end of this KI, and it's gonna be up to the FCs in the lobby to make the difference for their teams. But as of right now, the score is still so volatile. It is still so thin on the line moving into the second third of the map.
The accuracies on the Nomads are actually one of the worst ones for both of the teams, as we see two breaks one after another from Sorax Bay, which definitely doesn't help. Unknown finding the break on the FC on her hit, and is really bad for Team Argentina. As the two FCs for Australia, Older Panner, Older Hard Rock, and Mo Xiong on the Nomad is really just gonna push their score so far beyond, as Gandalf with the FC doesn't have the accuracy to help Argentina right now.
Yeah, that's right. That miss from Unknown presented the opportunity that Australia needs. Sorex Bay might find a miss, but that's not who you want to go down. A Wild Red Panda, Morshuang still bringing the heat, 2v1ing Gandalf right now, with Morshuang basically cancelling anything Gandalf has. That miss from Dante's Scar definitely is not gonna give them any favors. Going into the second half of the map, Australia is looking to perpetuate that score lead more and more. 70k and counting. There is nothing Argentina can do at this juncture of the map until one of those big combos find a miss, but it has to come soon. And moving into the tail end of this this KI, and at this juncture, it might just be too late for Argentina to do anything against Australia.
Yeah, I'm looking at Gandalf's screen as their only FC left on Argentina. They are shaking so bad on these bursts. They're almost shaking off the burst as they're tapping them. The nerves for them are probably so high, and this break is gonna be so evil as they will realize they're the sole FC left for Team Argentina. They do have the recovery on follow it. Unknown is also recovering quite well, but look at the combos on the side of Australia. They have the 2 FCs, the recovery from Ichinami. Sorex Bay also with a really nice recovery. It's looking like uphill battle for Argentina to get them in the last quarter.
Yeah. I mean, there really isn't much to say as we race into the final KI of the map. Unknown gonna find another miss, and I think that's gonna set it in stone. A Wild Red Panda might find that miss, but Ichinami versus forward, that binary tension that we were talking about at the beginning of the map is here to stay. But what is consistent is Morshuang's score on that no mod anchor, beating out Gandalf's accuracy, beating out the entirety of Team Argentina. I think this is a phenomenal first pick and a very great mental boon towards Australia going into the first point of this match.
Yeah, definitely. They absolutely did their job. Motion on that Nomad has absolutely destroyed the full map as they end the map with an FC. Gandalf as well, even with the amount of shake that Doom also managed to get an FC. Unfortunately, the accuracy is so different from them. There's a 3% act difference and a 70k score difference between the 2 FCs on the Nomad, which definitely also adds to the total score difference of the teams, which has been only increasing after the halfway point, where the more of the breaks we saw from the side of Argentina and the less we saw from Team Australia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what a
right.
really
We're back. Oh, sorry. We're back in the
No,
map
you're
pool
good, you're
screen.
good.
We're back in the map pool screen, and I think this first point on Fremont 1 is definitely going to be a huge boost to Team Australia. Getting those wins on RNG picks, especially with how decisively Australia won it. Very, very good start going into this match.
Yeah, very good start from Australia, winning their first pick. So now Argentina gonna have the opportunity to try and go into their own pick. And I could see a good amount of picks coming from Argentina. Probably more tapping related picks, something as maybe a DT3 or a DT2 could be coming out from Argentina. And possibly a Nomad 3 as well, but they're probably going to try and just pick into what their team is more comfortable into supporting Falwet, because Falwet was the top scorer on Argentina. Despite not FCing, they had really good accuracy on that hidden hard rock. And also, Gammy, thank you for correcting that pronunciation on a Wild Red Panda. I don't know why I said a Wildred Panda earlier. That's the average Meiji North American pronunciation, just never relenting, and it's staying there. And like I said, Argentina going to pick that DT2, that tapping speed map of this pool.
Okay, this is a it is a certified hook classic, right? Merry Xmas. This entire pool has a bunch of maps that were not seen that haven't been seen in years, and this map is one of such maps. Merry Xmas, it's your low SR DT2 map, right? There might not be the most amounts of burst in the map, but they're definitely sufficient enough for, you know, speed capped players to really struggle, but not hard enough that people who can't play speed can't just mash through. At the end of the day, this is a mash or die kind of map. And I do think at the end of the day, despite this map being very mash heavy, the speed players that are confident on this will definitely shine bright on a map like this, right? Where accuracy begins to triumph, especially on a map as short as this. FCs are all the more imminent. So the difference maker just becomes the accuracy when everybody's holding the FC. But who knows? I mean, 4v4, anything can happen. 8 players in the lobby, 8 chances to miss. And for what it's worth, this is by no means a free map whatsoever, so we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, and in this DT2, it is a little bit higher OD being 9.1, so maybe some of these not as comfortable speed players going to suffer a little bit on accuracy, but players that we can expect to see in for Argentina are going to be Dante, Scar, and Felwet, some of the core tapping players on this Argentina roster, and we do still see Unknown in, and as well as Disva in on the side of Argentina. They are on the Australia side, and for Australia, we do see Ichinami, that Australia perma lobby. We see a wild red panda. We also see Mishmoosh hopping in for Australia, and as well as Sorax Bay going to be the last one in on this DT2.
Yep,
This DT2 going to be my bad. My timing is horrible.
No, that's my bad. No, that's my bad. I was tapped out. GG commentary. Please kick me off the booth already.
Nah, you're good.
Who invited
Mirage
this
might put
host?
you in timeout.
Yeah, no, that honestly, that's just an average day in the CDC office. But the good luck, have fun coming in chat. Thank you, MyG, for that very, very nice introduction and segue going into Merry Xmas DT2. Let's jump straight into it.
A lot of the early score is going to come down to this intro. We've seen a lot of teams struggle with this intro section, not having a lot of accuracy, and we can already see that is the case for Team Australia, as Sorax Bay and a Wilder Panda are not having the greatest of time with the intro, and Mishmush as well, who found a break. Dantescar as well on the side of Argentina finding a couple breaks early on, but Argentina looking a bit more comfortable combo-wise, as they still have 3 FCs versus 2, so we'll see how they continue to hold this throughout the length of the map.
Yeah, that's right. The accuracy, right, Bez, is what we're seeing from Argentina. This basically matching what Ichinami has, and nobody on the side of Team Australia can contest with Forward. Albeit, despite Argentina having that slight combo disadvantage, and now it made even more prominent with that miss from Disba, it might still remain in the hands of Argentina, or might take a while to flip over. Despite that combo lead due to the accuracy, but Australia, with the power of their 500 combos, are gonna cause the scoreline to swing back. The scoreboard opens. They know how close it is. 1 minute left on the clock. Will Argentina be able to bring it back, or will Australia be able to steal that point? Dante Scar opening up this next KI with a miss, but so does Storex Bay. I do not think this is looking good for Argentina, Bez.
Yeah, Argentina looking quite cooked right now. Mishmush dropping an FC though, so that is a light of hope for them. They still have 2 FCs. That was Bancho actually.
No!
Oh, we got trolled, and Argentina's hopes are also getting quite dimmed right now as we get into this last little section here in the last quarter of the map. Everyone's still holding their combos, the FCs are still holding quite nicely. The nerves must be through the roof for every single one of these players right now, as they need to FC the rest. Mishmush actually dropping this time alongside the Sorax Bay, but I don't think there's enough time, and with the other 2 FCs holding really well, I think this is another point for Team Australia.
Oh wow, that is going to be a huge break point in favor of Team Australia. Across that map, we saw Argentina exemplify such good confidence, especially when it came to the accuracies. By the end of the day, OC is a combo game, and those 2 minutes where Australia were just narrowly able to steal that point just by nature of that combo. Mishmush beating out this by about 300 combo on that map. That's really what made the difference for Team Australia, and it is going to allow them to take their first break point of the match.
Yeah, what a crazy DT2. Falwet and Unknown both holding out those FCs on that DT2, just unfortunately not getting the same kind of support scores that Australia had. 2 FCs coming out from Australia, and as well as some really high combos coming out from Mishmush and Sorax Bay. And now Australia are gonna have the opportunity to convert the breakpoint, and they do pick that No Mod 5. This No Mod 5 going to be your rhythmic gimmick map, so this could definitely favor Australia, as we do see Argentina banned out that gimmick hidden too. So I think Australia do have a really good advantage on this map.
Yeah, I just want to say, my G, it's clear to see that Australia is actually saving their hidden one protect right now. Find that very, very interesting that they opted to go for the Nomad 5, considering Argentina is the team that is stronger on the tapping. But at the same time, right, this is not your standard tapping map. It's not really a mechanics check. It's more of a rhythmic reading check. So at the same time, you could argue that Team Australia has the advantage on a map like this. And going into this matchup at this juncture of the map with, such little points, the match point, Team Australia has a lot of options to choose from. They won that free mod 1 with very solid scores all across the board, all mods. They've won their own picks in I believe there was they won their opponent's pick, pardon me, in that DT2. And at this juncture, there's a lot that Australia can go for. They still have their protect in the game, they still have their free mod 2 in the game, and they're basically set for the rest of this match. I think Argentina, with that loss on DT2 on their own first pick, they're gonna be on the back foot for a lot of this matchup, and they need to find their footing soon before Australia surmounts that momentum to a point where Argentina just basically can't handle it anymore. But we're gonna see the good luck have funds coming in chat, and let's jump straight into Nawashi, the fascinating cat's eye best. Take it away.
Yup, this node is gonna be really, really interesting. We haven't seen any maps like this before so far, so it's gonna be interesting to see how each team performs. The map is really timed to the songs. It's only gonna showcase the rhythm capabilities, rhythm reading, and overall how comfortable people are on different types of rhythm rather than just your normal standard. I'm gonna tap 200 BPM constantly for 2 minutes. So yeah, this is gonna be quite interesting. So far, there we see a couple SS on both on the side of Argentina. Actually, there goes one of them. But yeah, so far, everyone looking really, really comfortable on this intro section.
Yeah, but here's where the action comes in. I think at this point in the map, the aim control might be a limiting factor for some of these players. Some of these patterns very awkward when you incorporate the weird rhythm that this map premises. As it stands right now, Gandalf is going to be the first one to miss on the side of Team Argentina. Going to the second quarter of the map, that lead that Argentina has been holding due to their accuracy is just going to immediately flip over in favor of Team Australia. We are seeing a repeat of DT2 where the ag just doesn't matter when Team Australia can just combo game you to death.
Yeah, not looking good. Unknown finding a break as well. This is absolutely horrible right now for Team Argentina. As much as it's Australia's pick, Argentina looked really solid on this. My God. Clorto. I had the full brain fart while I tried to pronounce their name. Yeah, they had a break, traded with Gandalf. To be fair, they were on the FC, but Boshirong as well finding another break. It's even in FCs, and it's gonna be accuracy back in battle. Both FCs looking really even though.
Whoa. I mean, never say never. We still have a third of the map left in the tank. It is a 2v2 between on both sides. Ichinami and Sorex Bay versus Dante Scar and Falwet, with Gandalf having that solid supporting combo to boot. As it stands right now, I mean, Ichinami and Sorex Bay are not in the clear yet. That scoreline is decreasing very slowly but surely. That is progress dealt to the scoreline. Last quarter of the map, final KI, last chances for misses to come in. But as that break comes in, I mean, there might not be enough time, there might not be enough difficulty for Ichinami and Sorex Bay to find this miss. And as we move towards the tail end of the map, the scoreline is stagnating. I just don't know if Argentina can bring it back.
There's so little total score left, and I don't think it's gonna happen. We have to see a double break on those FCs right now for anything to happen with the score difference. It's moving so slowly towards Argentina. Unfortunately, there's not enough map left for anything to happen, and this will be just another point for Team Australia. This one, yet again, so close yet again. Argentina just need that little bit more consistency, and they could take absolutely so much more points in this match than they have so far.
It's the combo game, right? There's like, you see in the 98% from Dante's card, 97 from Unknown and Falwet. And that just basically beats out Mo Shuang, I mean, Sorex Bay, Claw, and Ichinami when it comes to the accuracy department. But the combo game at the end of the day is what prevails. Just that slight differential in combo from Unknown and Clotho and Gandalf and Moshuang, that really just pushed the lead in favor of Team Australia. And now Team Australia are looking very, very scary, going 3-0 with their Protect still in their chamber.
Yeah, and Argentina going for the Noma 2, which
Okay.
I don't think is the best strategy, because for those who don't
Really?
know, after this map, we will be going into a second ban phase, and I think what you want to do, instead of going into your Protect here, is something Australia would possibly ban, like that Hard Rock 2. I think that would have potentially been a better pick for Argentina, but I think the Noma 2 coming out this early could be a good play, but we did see that Australia do have that tapping capability, winning that DT2 on the breakpoint, and Australia were able to convert that breakpoint, winning that their Nomad 5 pick.
Yeah, that's right, my G. At the same time, right, you have to assess the current points, that the point situation that we have on the ground. Argentina is currently 3 points down on Australia, and I think the rationale going into this Nomad 2 pick is that they have to get a point on the board somehow. You know, DT2 was already very risky, given how they just lost out on it. So you wouldn't want to go for something like DT3, given how DT2 played out. So honestly, going for that Protect on Nomad 2 makes a lot of sense if you're looking at it from a mental standpoint. But I mean, I'm looking at this point and I'm just thinking they have to win this. This is it. The situation is dire, right? They need to win it, and they need to win it now convincingly. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, on paper, I think this is a bit more Argentina favored, as, you know, they did lose that tapping DT2, but the Nomad 2 and the DT2 are two very different maps, as Good Luck Have Funs are in the chat, so we will be going into this Nomad 2, and Bez, you take it away.
This pick smells like desperation from the side of Argentina, unfortunately. As much as they seemed really comfortable picking up your Protect this early, just speaks that you want to have a point on the board badly, and you want it now. As they have been just that close throughout the whole match right now, but they haven't managed to get a point so far, so this Nomatsu is the point that they need to get for them to have any chance, as you mentioned before, of carrying some momentum into the second half after the next ban phase. So we'll see how it happens.
Yep. This map is one of the few quote-unquote skill cap maps in this pool. This and Hard Rock 1 being, you know, the other skill cap map in this pool. And I definitely think that this is an opportunity for Team Argentina to really bring it back with their high BPM mechanics. With their high BPM mechanics. As you can see already, just by the accuracies, that scoreline is already a 60k in favor of Argentina. But as we've seen time and time again throughout this matchup, accuracy does not matter. Argentina needs to hold on to their combos in tandem with their accuracies if they want a shot of winning out this pick. Australia, consistent as ever, has just been that looming force with their combo. So, I mean, the pressure definitely is on Team Argentina to win this Protect. And as we move into the slow, calm, you know, motif of Ascension to Heaven, the pressure is building.
This slow part is definitely the most evil part of the song, because if you have seen the first part, you are into this part absolutely shaking. You are absolutely the most nervous, and you're anticipating the next Hiai section. As we get right into it, all the players keep maintaining their FC. Kobe finding the first break, unfortunately. Ichinami as well finding a really big break there for Team Australia, so Argentina right now have so much advantage. Mishimush as well with the recovery, finding yet another break. Unknown trades it, but there's so many FCs dropped on the side of Australia.
Yeah, Jasky might find a miss, but the damage to Team Australia is way bigger. And for the first time, Bez, we are seeing the combo lead play in favor of Team Argentina. This is their skill cap. This is their skill cap pick. They are in their home field. Forward might find a miss, but it doesn't matter whatsoever. When the dust settles, Dante Sky and Mo Shuang gonna be the two last combos in the lobby. But that scoreline, more than enough damage has been dealt to the Australian side. 678k score difference in favor of Team Argentina. That is how you win a Protect.
Look at the accuracy on forward, for the love of God, 3 100s and the slider break that broke the AFC. That's an insane score to have on the Nomad. So props to them for absolutely destroying this. Even without the AFC, they are just so far beyond everyone else in the lobby. The other good score is also the FC from Mushyoung, but yeah, that score from forward is just so good for them.
Yeah, and on that Nomad 2, thank you guys for commentating that. On that Nomad 2, we did see where accuracy in the relation of your combo can come into play, as we did see a very good accuracy lead from the side of Argentina. But going into this ban phase, Australia will be the first ones to ban, and I believe Australia's best ban here will be that Hard Rock 2. I believe Argentina not picking that before the ban phase could have possibly been a mistake later on in this match. So Australia, they will be able to ban that, but they do have other ban options, like potentially like an aim map, like one of the Nomad 1s or DT1, but I think their best option to get rid of here is that Hard Rock 2, with Ishinami not being one of the stronger Hard Rock players for Australia, so they won't be able to have that high score from their perma lobby carry.
Yep, that's right. We're getting into the second ban phase, and here is where things get interesting, right? Argentina no longer has a protect, so anything is on the board for Team Australia. If I had to guess what kind of ban they'll go for, perhaps a GT3 is warranted, given how Argentina has been showing confidence on the speed picks. You really just want to cut out that speed pool as much as possible. But I think the more clear ban, I think, in this matchup is going to be Team Argentina going for the free mod 2. I think that makes the most sense to me personally. You lost on that free mod 1. You know, you're not confident on that hidden 2. You want to get that free mod 2 out. But we are going to see Team Australia go for the Hard Rock 2 ban. Definitely makes a lot of sense. Hard Rock has not been played throughout the entirety of this matchup. And Australia, you know, just wants to keep that uncharted territory, uncharted full stop. And just cut out any chance that Argentina has of doing anything on the Hard Rock. But yeah, we are going to see the free mod 2 ban coming out from Team Argentina as predicted. And now we are back into the pick phase. It's going to be Australia's pick to have, I think, protect here, right, Maiji?
Yeah, I think with the score right now being 3-1, and the only point you've lost is the opponent's protect, I think the way that you clap back here is gonna pick that hidden 1, and this hidden 1 going to be more of a tapping flow aim hidden 1, and Clordal, the captain of Australia, we do see that they picked that hidden 1. So I think this is definitely Australia favored, as they are a lot stronger on that no mod hidden in DT, other than the Hard Rock. Argentina not being the strongest hidden team. So yeah, we will be going into your tapping flow aim hidden 1, one of the harder maps in the pool in my opinion, and also a pretty short one as well.
Yeah, that's right. This map is a certified banger. This is one of my few contributions to pooling the 6WC. Assault Taxi by Asa. I believe this was a map for Pending Cup, a mapping competition. A lot of sets of this map were presented. This map is also a BMS of Fighters winner, if I'm not mistaken. So a very popular song from ASA. I believe their most popular sound and their breakout into the rhythm game scene. That's it. Talking a bit more about this map, it's going to be a map by Christia. This map features a lot of flow aim at 150 BPM alongside the added difficulty with the hidden. A lot of weird angles here and there. And I overall think that this is going to be a very fun map to see on stream. Team Australia going into this map, of course, is going to be the favorite, the stronger hidden team in this matchup. I really don't know how Argentina will perform on a map like this, but honestly, we'll have to wait and see. This hidden 1 could prove to be a bit skill cappy here and there, which might give way for some players such as Unknown or Forward to make the difference. But at the end of the day, still, it looks like as clear as it looks like as clear of a point as you can towards Team Australia.
Yeah, and in for Argentina, we do see Unknown, Dante, Scar, Falwet, and Jasky. And Jasky, not much of a high BPM tapping player, but they do have that hidden comfort. So we could see a good score coming out from them. We'll obviously Falwet hopefully with a good score, being one of the stronger players in this 6WC this year, as we've seen in the qualifier stats. And for Australia, we just have that hidden core of Ichinami, Clordal, Sorax, and Mushong.
Yep. That's right, but the good luck, have fun, are coming in chat, and hopefully we should be off to the races very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the ASA Assault Taxi by Chrisia. Bez, take it away, man.
This is gonna be interesting. Australia's protect is already just already starting with the right footing on this one, as they not finding any breaks, while Argentina already found two. It's a really short map, so the breaks and the accuracy drops are gonna pay quite a big price if you're the ones who will drop the accuracy and find the break. So yeah, this is not great so far, but I say that Ichinami and Sorex Bay also finding their break, unknown trades with Sorex Bay, but yeah, Dante's car known also don't look that comfortable on this map so far.
Yeah, but as it stands right now, Forward and Jasky both have the combo in their hands. Forward with the accuracy to add to that. But Moshuang and Clotho right now bringing the heat with that double FC. Not gonna give anything to Team Argentina going into the second half of this KI. And here we are. The sliders are very intense in this section. A lot of overlap patterns as well coming to greet these players. But as it stands, that scoreline is going to continue to grow in favor of Team Australia. And with that miss from Jasky, it's going to skyrocket now.
Yeah, going into the second half, that's probably the worst point you can break, where your total score will absolutely be demolished. Finding a break exactly at the half point of the map pretty much almost puts a death sentence on yourself, as you'll not be able to recover that much score or combo by the end of the map. Followit is having a really nice FC for Team Argentina, but he has absolutely a mountain to climb. Look on the side of Australia, they have 2 FCs and 2 good recoveries. How will he be able to match that in any sort of way? And the answer is he can't do it by himself. He needs a break from Team Australia.
Yeah, that's right. We still have a quarter of the map left, so anything can happen. But that scoreline has already been generated to a massive 500k, and that miss from Forward gonna hammer that nail in the coffin. Australia coming out of that No More 2 victory for Argentina was like, no, we want to show you how to do a protect pick. And an absolute masterclass on display from Team Australia going into the final K of the map. Clotho and Moshuang looking to close out this map with an FC with Sorex Bay, a very respectable 900 combo score to boot. 750k, 60k score lead going into this hidden one in favor of Team Australia. What a pick.
Yup, it was a great pick from them. It's definitely, you can see why they protected it. But if you ignore the scores at the end, the map was close until the halfway point, where I think everything just went absolutely downhill for Team Argentina, where their other FC broke, and then they didn't have any sort of fighting chance going into the last half, which is quite unfortunate to see. But yeah, it was Australia protect, to be fair.
Yeah, a bit closer at the starting early parts of the map, but as the map went on, we do see that Australia with that hidden comfort on their protect. I mean, what a great masterclass, like you said, Gammy. What a good score coming out from them, and Argentina going to go for that DT3. This DT3 going to be a pretty good map in my opinion. It's actually a custom edit from an original map, and it is going to be a finger control map, so this could favor Argentina pretty well.
Yeah, that's right, but at the same time, right, despite this map being favored towards Team Argentina, this map also falls into that bracket of maps where they're very RNG, right? Australia can just combo game the entire map, and if Argentina finds 2 misses here and there, it doesn't matter how comfortable or how good their accuracy is going into a map like this. And that's how we saw that DT2 get stolen away. So I'm rooting for Team Argentina on this map. On paper, I think they should win this. And for what it's worth, if they win this, Australia has a much harder time going into the rest of this matchup. We'll talk a bit more about that later if Argentina manages to emerge victorious on the map like this. But we'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Finger Control at LOSR. This is a map by Ara making. This is sort of it's really one of those maps where it's just a hard diff flat, and then you slap DT on it. a very classic style of, low SI, 6-digit DT3 in a map like this. So there is going to be a lot of finger controls, but there is going to be the aim, at least on a map like this, is going to be very, very linear. Going to have a lot of sliders following it into each other. Relatively comfortable at the end of the day, but given the DPM of this map in conjunction with the tapping requirements, that aim might just be that much more difficult to follow. But we'll have to wait and see, my G.
Yeah, in for Australia right now, they're trying to think on who goes in for this map. We do see a Wild Red Panda and Sorax Bay hopping in, Ichinami and Mishmoosh chilling in the lobby for Australia, but Argentina fully locked in and ready on this DT3. We have Unknown, the captain, Dante Scar, and Falwet. I believe all three of these players have pretty much been perma-lobbying today, and Dizva gonna be the fourth to hop in on this DT3. And good luck, have fun, go in the chat. Everyone's ready, and we're hopping right into it. Bez, you take it away.
I absolutely love this song. I absolutely
You like
love
it with
the
DT?
map set.
You like it
I
with
like
DT?
I like this edit with DT is actually pretty nice, to be fair. Most people might not agree with me, but I think like this is probably one of the best maps in the pool. Not even biased to song wise, just overall because of how it plays. And this is gonna come down to how comfortable these people are on this type of DT, where it's more related to finger control and a bit pretty ulty, I would say, as the map set is usually by nature. As we go into the first KI of the map.
Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Absolute Zero. We're seeing the finger control coming in, the doubles, the triples, that very, very tricky, those very tricky reverse sliders. Blink once and you'll find a miss. Very volatile map indeed. But for the first time this matchup, we're actually seeing Australia pull ahead with the accuracy lead in a map like this. Forward, despite leading the lobby with that 98%, the rest of his team unfortunately unable to keep up. Perhaps you might see a reversal of roles, however. Australia, could be the one to find that miss in a map on this map. So we'll have to wait and see. We get into the build-up section right before the first KI, and the scoreline is still so tied up between both of these players. About 10k separating these two teams.
The teams are really close. This is gonna just switch over. If anyone drops a 100 on one of these little bursts, it's just gonna instantly switch over to the other side. And a break, I won't even dare to say what happens if any of these players will break, as their mental will absolutely crumble. The score switches over to Argentina's side, as there was a little bit of an act drop on the side of Australia, and we see more act drops on the side of Australia from Sorax Bay. I think I saw a 50 on a burst. The nerves are definitely piling up on every single player right now, and the break is only going to be even more evil.
The scoreline opens. Both sides know what needs to be done. 8-way FC from the entire lobby. It is just the accuracy at play right now. Australia having a slight accuracy lead at the end of the day, but it is still down to the wire as we move into this final KI. Still so thin on the wire that
my god,
so volatile towards either side. Both players racing towards the end, but at the end of the day, Team Australia walking away with that 21k score lead by a slither. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner of this round of 32 match in much more dominant fashion than I think any of us could have anticipated going into this matchup. Taking this match 5-1, your winners, Team Australia. What a performance.
What a way to end it. The score switched like 5 times in the last 30 seconds of the map. That was absolute insanity from both of the teams, and the 8-way FC was only fitting way to end this match.
Yeah, and what a way to close it out from Australia, taking that break point. Argentina picking their strongest map that was left in the pool on paper, but Australia showing that they had that accuracy lead. And even with Argentina picking this and losing it, I mean, both teams, everyone in the map FCing both both teams getting 4 million scores. So not something to be too disappointed about from Argentina. Just a little bit unlucky. Australia were the ones to actually accuracy game them, which is not something that we've seen throughout this match. And I don't know if we're gonna have a TB for fun. I'm pretty sure Clordal and Ichinami is saying that they are down to play it for fun. So after that TV for fun, we will have a interview with the captains, I believe, from these teams, um,
Just
unknown
unknown.
and
Just
What?
unknown this time.
just unknown.
Yep.
Okay, just unknown. No Chlordal. My bad. So
Hopefully we
yeah,
can get
after
unknown in
this,
the lobby while they play the TV so that we can actually get uh wait one. Uh
yeah, try and DM them real quick. They did leave, so maybe they'll hop in. But yeah, unfortunate
okay.
loss for Argentina today, but they still performed very well.
Yep. While we are seeing this tiebreaker showcase an absolute
Hello.
banger by Bud, we have our captain of Team Argentina in the VC with us, Unknown Man. How you doing? What are your feelings after this match?
Really sad.
Really?
It was an unlucky match for us. We know that this gonna be a really tough match, a really close match, and you can see for all the picks like DT2, No Mod 5, this last DT3. But we know this can happen. We know if we were unlucky, this could happen. And nothing more to say. Team Australia did very well, and GG's for them.
Yeah, no, I noticed in a lot of picks, right? You guys were winning. Like you guys would have won that if it was just a bit more higher star. Do you think, if your team performed or if this round of 32 was like in a later round, if you had a later round pool, if you had the comfort of a higher SR or something that you can actually mechanics abuse your opponent, do you think the outcome would have been different? Or do you think you would have been more secure going into this matchup?
I think this pool was more secure for all of us. We we practiced the pool like 2 rounds yesterday and before the match today, and we have 4FC in mostly all the maps the maps we played. But the nerfs took to the players like Dante, Diva, Gandalf. They are players that are new to tourneys. They never played a tourney before. And this was the really fierce match ever, like in a CWC and in a really close match because Australia was a higher top place than
Mm-hmm.
us. But I think we just got unlucky, and Australia obviously played very well because they won. But I think if we were a little bit more lucky in this match, we could win or at least get to tiebreaker.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with that. Could you maybe tell us a bit about, what you were thinking going to this match? I know you mentioned, right, you knew it was gonna be a hard match, right? And you guys practice all the time, but how do you go about scouting for your opponents?
Scouting our opponents, I knew like I did the scout and I do the big advance. I knew they were bad at hard rock and really good at hidden. That's why I banned hidden two. Like my first ban will I knew my first ban will be hidden two or hidden one. They protected hidden one, so I went for one hidden two. And the third map, like when I picked number two, I was really, really going to pick Harrock 2 because I knew they will ban Harrock 2 after that pick. But I think like my team needed a win, a secure win, and
Yeah,
that was number 2. That's because but in other, if we got at least 1 point before that number two, I will pick Harrock 2 because I knew they will ban them. And after banning free mod 2 because we were not really secure about the free
yeah,
mod 2, but that's it. Ichinami was a really good player, but nothing more I can say about Team Australia. I should look at them like scores. And I knew Chinami, like you can see that no mod 5, a really good score on no mod 5, a really good score on DT2. He's a really good player. We got Falwet, but we can support him this time, sadly.
yeah, no. I think a lot of this Argentina roster really struggled to find the support for your carries. Do you have any regrets going into maybe this mashup at all?
No, I don't think so. Like the only regret I could think of was not picking Harrock 2 instead of number 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that was a really a really gamble, but I don't think like the nervous of my team would help on that Hard Rock 2 like Dante. Dante's car was the one who would play that. She don't really perform that well on that mode 2, and he was really nervous. And you don't want a nervous player on Hard Rock 2.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was really, me and Falwet, we are really secure on our Hard Rock 2, but I didn't think like the other two players
Was
would
scared.
perform very well. Yeah, but that's it, and that's the only regret I have.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts, going into the later rounds? I think Argentina has a very strong shot going to this bracket because you guys are so incredibly strong on mechanics. Like, oh my goodness. You think you guys will be able to pull off like a 6WC 2024 run in the lower bracket?
I don't think so because we don't have a viewer this time. Like he did
No.
back thingies after CWC, he did back thingies, and but I don't know. One part of me is happy to be on loser brackets because now Australia will have to face most probably Philippines, the top one of the
True,
tournament.
true. Yes.
We didn't want to face that, at least me. Didn't want to face Philippines. So I don't know. Maybe the loser brackets will be a nice run for us. We got Latvia most probably, and after that, if I'm not wrong, we got Spain or Mexico. I didn't look at the match, but that's
Yeah.
it. I think we can pull at least semifinals. That's where I aim today, but we can do it.
Yeah, definitely rooting for Team Argentina. You guys might have knocked Singapore down to losers bracket last year, but that's all last year's stuff, man. I am rooting for you
Last
guys.
year. Thank you,
Huge shout outs, huge shout outs to this year's Team Argentina roster. After a lot of the question marks from last year's roster, I'm definitely happy to see you guys back, and I'm rooting for you guys, bro. Good luck,
Thank you
all
very
the
much.
best
I
in your
have-
future matches.
I want to see something for my fellow Argentina watchers the stream right now. No bajen los brazos, muchachos, que este equipo promete. Buenas noches. Good night, Gami. Good night, Mirage. Thank you for ref, and thank you for the stream.
Oh my goodness, you are so sweet, Unknown. But thank you so much for joining us. Anything in English you'd like to say to the rest of our viewers before you go?
I don't know. I don't really have much to say to other people. Like, I'm happy that if they are rooting for us, but I don't know. Like last year, a viewer did bad things, and I don't know how the image of Argentina is really right now. I want to watch that image with my team this year. We have a really powerful team, but in later stage when players get less nerves, I think we can perform very well. And stay on, watch on us.
Yep, I will definitely be doing so. Thank you so much, Unknown, for being an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I love to hear from you again, man. But yeah, I think we'll have to say goodbye to you, and good luck in the losers bracket.
Bye bye.
See you, man.
Thank you very much.
Bye, bye.
I have a question. I have a question
Yeah,
before you go, Unknown. I know Gammy didn't ask it, but we usually ask at the end of each interview. And who do you think is like one of the most underrated players on your team? You know, you have Falwet, one of the returning players from that 6WC4 last year, being a really strong asset to the team, being top match cost of that match. But who do you think is, one of the more less viewed but really strong players on your roster?
Definitely Dante. Dante is like a really good player that we need this year. He didn't perform very well this time. He performed really well. Like he got really nice scores, except for the DD2. But you can watch on him because he is a really good player, and at least me have really good expectations on him.
All right, yeah, thank you. And I don't think there's anything else, so thank you very much for the interview, and
Yeah,
good
thank you
luck
very much for-
on your later matches in this 6WC 2025.
Thank you. Bye bye.
But yeah,
Later.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. This is not the end, however. We have a match right after this. It's going to be Colombia versus Team Taiwan. So if you're interested in that, pray for Mirage's sanity. Double streaming at 4 a.m. You love to see it. but with that said, we're going to do a quick stop around in the commentary booth. And we will catch you very, very soon. So I think we'll take a quick break after this tiebreaker showcase, and it's going to be straight into the next match. But till then, my name has been Gami Crayola. Joining me in the VC is the lovely Bez Honorable and Mighty. Huge shout outs to Mirage for being our streamer for this match, alongside Cubative / My Angel Nakuru for refing this match. But yeah, this has been a 6WC stream, and we will be going dark for a while. We'll be right back with you. Bye bye.
Goodbye.